I'm cringing.
Why are you such a copycat?
Hey Chais, it's Kai, and today I'm gonna do what I do best, make fun of myself. Sorry if the lighting keeps changing a little bit. I'm actually using natural light for the first time in like ages because it's actually 2 p.m. and I'm filming a video. Usually I don't film till like 3 in the morning, so any and all light I have is artificial and the lighting in my room sucks. But while we have it, we're using natural lighting. I also have like a little ring light on to hopefully help everything else, and my battery is already blinking. Why? We're just gonna get through this. I have another one charging, so it'll be fine, but the shot might change. So recently I finished the first draft of my second ever novel, which is super exciting. However, I never published the first one. I know I had a series on here about my first novel, but it wasn't really my first novel. That was like the first book I finished like back in high school, like written in a journal with pencils and pens and everything else, never even once edited except for like randomly in the margins. So I don't count that one. But my first actual novel was called Blind Little Fire. This novel is never going to see the light of day, except for now I guess. And that's because it's trash. This first novel was very important to me for a lot of reasons. Like, it helped me deal with things. It also was my first novel, like that's a big deal. However, like I said, it's trash, and the more I edited it, almost the worse it became. And so we're just gonna kind of go over that. Now there are some parts that I think I might just skip over, and by some parts I think like one specific chapter, I just don't remember where it is, but we'll skip over that when we get to it. But I kind of wanted to just go through this book with you guys like bit by bit. This is gonna be like a little mini series until it's done with you guys on my channel about this first horrific novel called Blind Little Fire. Now before I get started, let me just tell you the backstory of this novel. Okay, so it started because I saw, oh God, this just shows how old this book is. I saw a post on Tumblr, I believe it was my freshman year of college, maybe sophomore year. I'm so sorry about that noise. My cat is playing with my blinds and I can't get her to stop it. At least it's better than playing with the tripod, but I'm irritated. So I saw this post on Tumblr and it was talking about like, you should write a chapter about yourself but as the author and describe yourself in like third person. And because I had no friends and was getting really into writing and things like that at the time, I decided to give it a shot. Basically, that chapter I wrote about myself became this novel. Now it also came from another Tumblr post. That's probably why this novel is so bad, because it started out as just like an amalgamation of just like Tumblr, and then it just became worse, and I kept trying to make it good and not Tumblr but keep some of the elements, and it's not good. The other post it came from was like this post where I was talking about like, imagine if you were reading the book and then the book is like the character slowly falling in love with the reader or something like that, and I was like, that'd be so cool. I could write her like talking to the readers and whatever and etc. That's not what wound up happening, but it started off that way, like you trying to get to know her and then she's just telling you about her day and like how her life has been and like all this other stuff, and then I introduced a character that became a love interest, and then it just became about that, so it's fine. I've rewritten especially the beginning of this about 50 million times, and it's not gonna get better, and it's still like, you can still see where it came from. But anyway, let's just go ahead and get into it. This is called Blind Little Fire because the main character's name is Aiden Cecilia Blake, because I wanted her to be Irish, and also those names mean blind little fire in like different languages. So chapter 1 is titled Who Is She? Me, myself, looking at my past self who wrote this book. Who is she? Her name was Aiden. That was the name everybody knew her by. But for those of you who didn't bother to ask, her full name was Cecilia Aiden Blake. Oh my God, I just remembered what I changed this intro to. I'm not gonna spoil it for you because this is like the best story alive on the internet, and I want you to watch all of this first. Just kidding. But this first chapter is supposed to be something super specific that's tied to the end of the novel, and this is actually someone else speaking. This is Evan speaking, and oh my God, stop, Minnie! Anyway, let's continue. I always called her Cece because she hated it, but also because it was cute, like her. Actually, I take that back. I'd never use cute to describe Cece. She was disgusting. I'm just kidding. She was fierce, strong, detached, and weird, but not cute. This is literally Tumblr circa 2012, 2013 when this was written. I am cringing. This whole book should be a try not to cringe challenge. Ugh. She went through too much for something as small and insignificant as that. Ugh. In fact, there was nothing small about her. I know that's not what I meant, but oh my god, how is no one supposed to take it that way? Who is she? Not her anger, not her happiness, not her pain. You were always all in or all out with her because she wouldn't accept anything in between. I saw a quote somewhere that talked about a girl who wasn't pretty. She was art. That was another Tumblr post that I was literally referencing in this Tumblr novel. I hate myself. The art wasn't supposed to be nice. It was supposed to make you feel something. And she certainly did. Was that 2 Tumblr posts in one? Cece, Aiden. She spent every day wearing a mask for the world, and maybe because of that you could tell she didn't belong here. Not because she was above any of us, but because she lived on a different plane. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like Aiden Blake? I hate myself, hate myself, hate myself. She spent her entire life trying to escape her disoriented reality, and for the better half of it, she succeeded. Her world wasn't always better. Sometimes it was filled with nightmares, sometimes with fantasies, but it was always something new. The thing is, she knew she was special. I mean, we told her all the time, but it was never news to her. She knew she was different and fascinating. She's not like other girls. Shout out to Joyden. Do you wanna get some chicken nuggets? I'm a vegan. I'm making so many references and I don't know if anybody's gonna get any of them. It's fine. She knew that she was different and fascinating, and she knew that people liked her. She was indifferent and emotional, distant but too close to function, quiet but loud. She was a writer who was at a loss for words. She loved the wind and the rain but grumbled when it stormed. Oh, shouldn't it be the opposite? I don't know, whatever. She was a naive intellectual, a girl with a passion for reading and no favorite book. She was too fond of the sky to keep her feet on the ground. Let me just tell you, that line was in the original draft and I loved it so much that I rewrote everything over and over and over again so that that would be at the end of that paragraph and it would like sum it up perfectly, because that was her, which was really me before she became Aiden, her own person. And actually, fun fact, in the second novel that I just finished, Aiden makes an appearance. It's just like a little cameo, but you wouldn't get it if I didn't do this, so. And I promise my writing is a million times better. It's not perfect because it's never gonna be perfect, but it's not this. But she was also spontaneous and she loved to laugh. She rushed into things, screwed things up, but it was hard to hate her for that. Trust me, I tried. She's a bitch. There was just something about Cece that made her unforgettable, that made her stand out in a sea of beautiful people. Loving her was an addiction, and god damn it, the withdrawals are killing me. But God do I love her. That's how I separated it, and that's the first chapter, and I mixed it up because chapter 2 is what used to be chapter 1, and that was, anyway, it'll become clear later, I guess, and if it doesn't, I'll just explain it, because honestly, who knows if I actually made anything clear. Chapter 2 is called Not What You Thought. I hate myself. This is from Aiden's point of view. My name is Aiden Blake, to get the introduction out of the way. My birth name is Cecilia, which is fine, but I'd rather pretend it weren't. Fine or your birth name? Plus, Aiden means little fire in Gaelic. It gives me bragging rights with all the neighborhood pyros. Do you meet up in back alleys with neighborhood pyros and you're like, I'm the queen because my name means little fire in Gaelic? Like, what does that even mean? Like, it gives me cred with all the neighborhood pyros. Like, that's not a thing. A witch in the making, I guess. I don't know. We huddled together. Oh my god. I hate myself. The next line, I swear to you, I didn't read this beforehand. So after neighborhood pyros, the next line is, we huddle together in alleyways and fight over who has the best lighter and the best name. Hi friends, we have had some technical difficulties. Oh, I should make sure that's not blocking the shot. So first of all, I only filmed for about 15 minutes, but really it was less than that because it was like there were things in between and whatever, but I started like right at 2, and then at 2:16 I was tweeting about this. So first, the camera did that thing where it's like, oh, the camera stopped recording, like you have to like press record again 3 times in less than 15 minutes, which is obnoxious, especially because now I have to get up and go all the way around, which is fine. I set it up like this for a reason, but it's annoying. After that, my cat started going crazy, and like she's not doing it right now, she's napping right now. Like this is normally what she's like. I don't know why she was going so crazy. After that, the battery died, which sucked because it said it was half full and then it just suddenly was dead, so that was not fun. Once I swapped out the battery, I literally sat down and went to plug in the other battery and then it said card full. Like, There was only that like less than 15 minutes of footage on my card, and it's 64 gigs. Okay, this is what I use every single week. So I downloaded them to my computer. I was gonna put them on my Mac, but I think it's dead. This, because it has to plug into the side, I can't use it at the same time as the SD card, so I had to transfer it with the keys and just like sit and wait, and then I had to plug in my computer because it was dying, and then I accidentally hit it and started over, and it's been a time. The point is, we are back. Everything's still in order. I don't remember exactly where we were when we left off. I remember laughing about the pyros and laughing about the line where I was like, oh my god, I swear I didn't read ahead and everything else. So we're just gonna start after the like alleyway line. I'm just kidding. If I were gonna be a part of a pyro cult, we do something cooler than compare figurative pokey cards. That's about it, actually. Introductions are hard. I never really know how to do them. I can't ever seem to keep a dialogue going, which can prove very difficult when trying to make friends. Probably because you're boring. I have a couple of really close friends, and by that I mean I literally have one close friend, and a couple of acquaintances, but that's really it. Back in high school, I had my tight-knit group of friends, and then I knew people from virtually every social group, but well, that was high school. Again, this is literally taken from my brain back then. Like, I mean, obviously, because that's what writing is. But I mean, like, this isn't me making a character and making up a backstory and thoughts and feelings for her. This is literally how I felt at the time, because freshman year of college, which I think is when I started writing this, but I had been in the beginning of the year hanging out with a group of friends who I thought were friends of mine. It turns out they all secretly hated me, and I didn't find that out until a few years ago. It was always easy for me to make friends, like back in high school, and so once I got to college and I was like, oh, I'm awkward and quiet and shy now again. Oops, I didn't know how to cope with that, so I guess I wrote a shitty novel. I cared a lot less in high school about who I was or who I seemed like, so I sort of meshed with everyone. I'm ashamed to say that I was a bit of a chameleon, which may have been what caused me to be so self-contradictory. So anyway, friends? It's funny because the way that's written, it looks like she's like, so anyway, do you want to talk about my friends some more? She means like, so anyway, we're friends now, right? After one half of an awkward chapter. I'm assuming and hoping, these are my parentheses hands, by the way. I'll probably be using them in the future. And also, if you want to see more of this kind of content, you can just go back and watch me reacting to my first novel, Scott. It's like a little mini series on my channel. I don't know why I decided to plug this in the middle of me reading all of this, but it's fine. I guess I'm just distracted. I'm assuming and hoping that you nodded or confirmed in some other way, mostly because you're about to find out way more about me than I ever let anyone see. That is, if you decide to keep reading. And then it just says, no? First of all, as if the reader is actually responding. Second of all, you're just assuming like, if you decide to keep reading. No, you're not gonna keep reading? Okay, how about this? If you keep reading, that means you're my friend. If you don't want to be my friend, just close the book and forget I ever said anything. Deal? Okay. Good. That's where we're gonna end. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think we'll read one more chapter just to kind of get into the story, and I'm pretty sure this is where things like start happening, where I might be wrong. I don't know. Chapter 3, let's make idle chit chat. I hate myself. That was part of the title. I'm just kidding. It's not. Well, why am I obnoxious? Hey, you made it to the 3rd chapter. Awesome, I'm cringing. So now that we're officially friends, I guess I should delve a little deeper into my life with you. I mean, it's not very interesting and mostly just means I'm a little screwed up, but if we're gonna be friends and you're gonna read a book about me, I suppose you ought to know who I am, yeah? Of course. Isn't that what the last chapter was supposed to be about? And also, if it's boring, why are you making me read a book about it? I'm not reading a book to be bored, I'm reading a book to be entertained. This is, I should have just kept this all concise. Like, this like, okay, like you can wait till the last, like if you read the next chapter then we're friends, cool, like okay fine, but I should have put that after all the stuff about her. The next chapter should have been like, let me show you this peek into my life, and nothing else before then. I don't know. This book was just poorly constructed and poorly thought of and poorly executed, but it's fine. Just reasons why it's never gonna see the light of day. Oh my god, I hate myself. The next paragraph, so it's like, you want to know who I am? Yeah, of course. Like, blah, 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 and then it hops down to the next paragraph. ... You don't talk much, do you? Shut up! You are literally the main character in a book, bitch. What do you mean you don't talk much? It's a reader. They can't say anything back. I mean, I guess it's a little difficult since I'm in a book and can't really hear what you're saying, but still. I don't know why she kind of got like my hipster vegan voice. And by that I mean I have a vegan voice and a hipster voice and it's kind of meshed together. I'm allowed to have a vegan voice because I am vegan, okay? I can make fun of vegans. I guess this isn't your typical book either. I bet you've never even heard of it. Usually you just get to watch the story unravel, but this time you'll actually have known the main character beforehand. So what you're saying is, this isn't the story. This is 3 chapters of prologue. Stop. So as long as you don't care what people think about you, you could run around and tell everyone that you actually know Aiden Blake and they'll think you're cool. They won't actually, but who cares? I'm effing awesome. Besides, I'm probably the first person to do this, which makes me special, like a snowflake. Anyway, it's about time, I suppose, to tell you a story. But first, I need to make sure I can secure some background information in your head because most of it does come into play and I don't know if I'm gonna feel like bringing it all up again. So pay attention. I hate her. My full name is Cecilia Aiden Blake, which you already know. And speaking of things you already know, do not call me Cece. Some people in italics. The way I change this around again, it'll make sense later, but like it doesn't make sense if like the prologue is by somebody else, but then she's also hinting at knowing that person who she doesn't know until later on. I don't understand. It doesn't, oh my god. Some people think it's funny and cute, but I swear to God, I will not tolerate it. The evil ex, okay. Like why? Also at the time, there were, you don't, but it's fine. The evil ex used to call me that and since him, I can't stand it. So just don't do it. I go by Aiden for a reason. In case you couldn't tell from my hella Irish name, why? Like it's not quirky and fun to use like hella. Like I get that like she's a millennial and she's just like telling us her story in a novel. But like it's not like a great artistic choice. It would be one thing if that just like came naturally, but I remember specifically putting that in there because I was saying hella all the time and I thought it'd be cool if she said hella because it would seem more like relatable instead of like some older guy writing a girl her age. Like I was her age and so it was in which case, shame on you. Who's named Blake and isn't Irish? And then she says it again, I'm hella Irish. I have really long red hair, slightly less curly than Merida's, because that was right when Brave came out. Speaking of, representation for the win, as if Irish people needed representation. I'm sorry, but listen, we're in everything. Like, why was that even necessary? Oh my god, okay, she does say not that white people needed more representation, but ... Stop. I also have algae green eyes. That sounds so nasty. Like, why would you use algae to describe the color of your eyes? Algae are gross and slimy and float on the top of nasty ponds like the one in the back of my parents' house. I mean, in the backyard, not in the back of their house. They just have a pond in the kitchen. Because I am a stereotypical Irish girl. Nothing to see here, move along. Why do I hate her so much already? When I say I'm hella Irish, we need to keep a calendar of how many times she says that. I mean that my mother literally came to America from Ireland about a year before meeting my dad. 2 years after that, I popped out of her. Ew. Ew. Who says that? I popped out of her. Like Alien versus Predator with red hair. I hate you. I popped out of her and covered my eyes, already screaming about my lack of sunscreen. Such a funny joke, Kai. You're like a literal comedian. I'm so amused. This is the epitome of comedy. She's from Drogheda specifically, and it legitimately looks like those cartoon versions of Ireland you see on St. Patrick's Day, except prettier. We take a trip every year to see Grandma and the locals. Mom still has a fairly thick accent, though it's dissipated considerably over time. I mean, she's been in America for about 24 years, so it's to be expected. I'm just disappointed that I don't have one. Thanks, Dad. It's not. You don't inherit an accent. It's because you grew up hearing everybody else that you grew up hearing. If she's the only one you hear frequently with an accent, you're not gonna have an accent. It's not like your dad's like DNA didn't have enough Irish in him and so you don't have an Irish accent. Thanks, Dad. My body type is ... I don't know, normal, I guess. I normally wouldn't even cover this, but I suppose since you can't see me, and our culture really seems to care about what bodies look like as women, I guess I'd describe myself as curvy. I'm not fat, but I'm also not thin. My weight fluctuates day to day, and sometimes I'm happy with it, sometimes I'm not, and now I feel weird, so now we're moving on. Yeah, we're moving on. At this point, normal people would probably start on favorite books, movies, colors, and fetishes, but I actually don't have any. Fetishes, isn't she quirky and funny? I read a lot and I watch a decent number of movies, I suppose, but I never could pick a favorite. I also don't really have a thing for feet or knee-high socks, so that's out of the question. Shut up. Weird, I know. My favorite color is probably teal-ish, but even that one's a little iffy. I'd ask what your favorites are, but you don't really talk, because this is a a book, dumbass. I mean, you could write in the margins if you want, provided this isn't a library book and you actually own it yourself. Actually, I love that because maybe then I get an idea of who I'm talking to. No, honey, because this is a pre-written book. You're a character in a book. Shut up, you're stupid. I bet you're a pretty cool dude. I hate her. And then real quick, I'm gonna clap for every space, okay? Because this is how I wrote this and I hate it. Anyway, feel free to write about yourself here and here because I don't want to cut you short. ... Did you just draw a penis? I really love hearing about people, about their thoughts, ambitions, and insecurities. Things they find funny, how they view the world. Just shut up. Nobody cares. And you're not, like, you don't mean that. Like, you don't actually spend all your time like, I want to know what everybody else is thinking. No, like, you want to have a conversation with someone so you can tell them how you're thinking and make them think that you're, like, so much better than everyone else. But, like, everyone's valid, though. I love noticing the way that they interact with each other and learning how they rationalize things in their pretty little heads. I wish there were a way to watch people's dreams. They're really telling. I pride myself on being very good at constructive criticism, but my constructive criticism here is just trash the whole thing and start over. Like, for instance, I used to have this, see, exactly. She was like, I want to know what dreams they're telling. Let me tell you about mine. Hi friends, Editing Kai here. I just wanted to jump in here and say that there is a whole sequence where the character talks about her dreams and they are actually dreams that I used to have, and then I start talking about what those dreams were and explaining them, and honestly, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to the plot or to anything else, and it's just honestly really boring, so I'm just gonna cut it all out. We're just gonna pretend like it doesn't exist. If you guys want me to talk about like recurring dreams I used to have as a kid, let me know in the comment section down below. But as far as this video, I feel like it's getting too long anyway, and I just don't care about this, and I feel like it's boring, and I was even bored when I was talking about it, so we're just gonna go ahead and cut that part out and just skip to after that. Okay. Like I said, I'm a bit screwy. I'm working on it though, and in the meantime, I've got you to talk to. It's not like you have any excuse to avoid me. You're reading my book right now, aren't you? Anyway, I am tired of going on random tangents. I think I want to tell you a story that will make the first chapter clear at the end of the book, and you don't peek, that's rude, will thank me for it. Besides, this isn't supposed to be my own published journal. Are you sure? So I'll tell you a story then, provided you don't mind me writing it in present tense, even though it happened in the past. Trust me, it just makes things easier. For my sake and for yours. And then chapter 4 is titled The Beginning of My Bliss Temperature. Again, I hate myself, but we will get to that one next time. In the meantime, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more of this content, go check out my little mini series on my channel, making fun of myself while reading Scott. I think the playlist is just called Scott, but go watch that. I'm making fun of something way worse. At least this is like coherent. But yeah, so go check those out for sure. Let me know if you want to see more of these or if you want me to do something else. I don't know. I just felt like doing something like fun today, and funny enough, like the name of the file is actually like Blind Little Fire Manuscript for Publishing, because I was planning on publishing it. Like, I sent the first draft to my uncle who is in like that industry, and he kind of like skimmed over it and he was like, yeah, I can like help you edit this and help you send it off and blah blah blah, but then it didn't wind up happening, and I kept going over and like editing things and then being like, no, it's not good enough, it's not good enough. So finally I like finished it and like made this version. I was like, whatever's wrong with it, like I'll fix it later or I'll never fix it and it's fine. And I was gonna send it off to people, and thank God I never did, because I realized how bad it was. But we'll get there. All right, cool. This battery's blinking red too. That means I've been filming for way too long. Maybe my ghost doesn't want me to film anymore. I'm sorry. I know I'm being loud. Oh, sorry. Oh, that could have been so bad. I'm gonna go before I catch myself on fire. Blind Little Fire. Ah! That started out as an I hate myself and turned into just a terrible dad joke laugh.
It's fine. We're fine. Everything is fine.
That's gonna be about all for now. Thank you so much for watching, especially to this week's shout out of the week across the screen right here. This is my friend Caroline. She is actually, sorry, someone was calling me. I just saw a random number pop up on my phone. Not right now, I'm filming. She is going to start her like YouTube channel. Like, she's gonna start making videos. She just hasn't yet. And so I wanted to give her a little feature. I really don't think I've ever had a battery die twice in the process of making a video, but it's fine.
Everything is fine.
Go subscribe to Caroline. She hasn't posted anything yet, but hopefully she will soon. do it. And maybe Caroline and I will do a collab. We'll see. What are these faces I'm making? I've been doing Aiden's voice for too long and now I'm just acting weird. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Give me those thumbs and share this video if you like me. Stay cool, my dudes. Don't call me Cecilia. And I'll see you in the next one.
Why are you such a copycat?
This candle smells like vanilla bean. Bye.